Welcome to The Explainer. Look, I am absolutely pumped you're tuning in today because we're unpacking a monumental shift in the financial landscape. We're talking about three massive news events that literally all dropped in a single 24-hour period on Thursday, May 29th. And together, they prove that stablecoin infrastructure is definitely no longer just some future thing. Nope, it has officially become a right-now thing. So let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. Software stocks went on an absolute tear this week, and everybody's asking the exact same question. Is tech actually back? Or, is the market just doing that super familiar thing where it gets all our hopes up right before pulling the rug out? Well, we don't have a crystal ball for daily stock prices, but what we do have are hard, undeniable data points from the industry's heaviest hitters, and they show us exactly where the long-term capital is actually flowing. See, you've got to separate market distraction from market reality. On one hand, you have the noise, the crazy, daily, volatile fluctuations that keep day traders up at night and totally dominate your social feeds. But on the other hand, you have the signal. We're talking about trillions of dollars being poured into permanent underlying stablecoin infrastructure right now. It's happening entirely behind the scenes, and it's being built by the absolute giants of finance. To really understand this signal, we're going to look at three distinct playbooks today. First, Mastercard's crypto hall pass. Second, Cash App's massive distribution. And third, Coinbase wants your paycheck. Starting right off with number one, Mastercard's crypto hall pass. So on Thursday, Mastercard secured a BIT license. Now, if you need a quick refresher, a BIT license is issued by the New York State Department of Financial Services. It is hands down one of the most rigorous digital asset regulatory frameworks in the entire country. Securing this puts Mastercard straight into an elite regulatory club alongside heavyweights like PayPal, Fidelity, Coinbase, and Block. It's literally the ultimate crypto hall pass in the most watched crypto jurisdiction on the planet. And Mastercard isn't just dipping their toes in here, guys. This approval specifically applies to Mastercard Transaction Services, US. That's the subsidiary handling their massive international money transfers and cross-border networks. The license covers stablecoin payments, tokenized deposits, the whole blockchain settlement shebang. Plus, remember back in March, they actually acquired the stablecoin payments firm BVNK for $1.8 billion. As their chief product officer, Jordan Lambert, perfectly put it, clear regulatory frameworks build the trust needed to take digital value from just an experiment to actual practical application. To really wrap your head around why this is such a game changer, you just need to look at one massive number: $9 trillion. That is roughly what Mastercard processes in payments every single year. When the world's second largest payment network gets a regulatory green light to handle stablecoins, it's not just a cute compliance win anymore. It is a starting gun. Stablecoins stop being a testnet experiment and officially become global infrastructure. Moving on to our second pillar, Cash App's massive distribution. 59 million. Out of nowhere, on that exact same Thursday, Cash App quietly rolled out what could honestly be the most consequential product launch of the year. USDC Send and Receive is officially live for all 59 million of their monthly transacting customers. Let that sink in. They just handed a fully functional stablecoin wallet to tens of millions of everyday people who have probably never even touched crypto before. And the best part? They completely removed the friction. Zero wallet setup, zero crypto literacy required. Cash App just handles all the sourcing, conversion, and settlement totally behind the scenes. The stablecoins auto-convert to US dollars, so users just see their normal cash balance. It's supported across multiple chains like Solana, Ethereum, Polygon, and Arbitrum. And to top it all off, it is completely fee-free to start. Now, to put the sheer scale of this integration into perspective, look at $13.28 trillion. According to Visa's on-chain analytics, that is the global adjusted stablecoin transaction volume over the last 12 months. That is a mind-blowing amount of money moving around, and Cash App just turned itself into a direct, frictionless on-ramp onto those massive rails for everyday consumers. Box Bitcoin product lead Miles Suter was actually super candid about their strategy here. He said, stablecoins are a stepping stone. Get customers comfortable moving digital dollars, and Bitcoin is one step closer. I mean, it's a brilliant playbook. It's exactly what Robinhood did to normalize stock trading, right? You take something that seems scary or overly technical, you make it feel totally boring and invisible, and then you just sit back and watch the adoption roll in. Such a smart distribution move. Which brings us to number three. Coinbase wants your paycheck. So Coinbase just completely relaunched its direct deposit feature. And here is exactly how CEO Brian Armstrong pitched the flow. Step 1, you route some or all of your paychecks straight into your Coinbase account. Step 2, that money is automatically allocated into USDC or really any crypto asset with absolutely zero trading fees. And step 3, you can immediately lend it out or just spend it using your Coinbase One card to get up to 4% back on your purchases. Basically, they're pitching themselves as a complete high-yield replacement for your traditional checking account. Now, you've got to pay attention to the timing here. This huge relaunch lands right smack in the middle of active Senate negotiations over the Clarity Act. If passed, that legislation could actually ban passive yield on stablecoin balances, meaning just sitting on USDC wouldn't pay you like a normal savings account would. But Coinbase, they're building this direct deposit to USDC pipeline anyway. They're making a calculated, neutral bet that activity-based rewards, like spending on their card or staking, will survive whatever new rules come out of Washington. And if you're wondering why Coinbase is playing this game of regulatory chicken, well, it all comes down to revenue. Just look at Q1 2024. Coinbase's subscription and services revenue hit $584 million. That's a massive 44% of their total net revenue. The exchange is just making way too much money off these services to sit on the sidelines and wait for Congress to figure out the rules. They're building the product right now because the demand is already here. All right, let's tie this all together. What we've got are 3 entirely different, massive approaches converging at the exact same moment. You've got Mastercard laying down the rigid compliance and settlement tracks with their BIT license. You've got Cash App bringing massive consumer distribution, effortlessly onboarding 59 million people in a snap. And you have Coinbase building the sticky, day-to-day banking products, pulling your actual paycheck right into the stablecoin ecosystem. Together, it makes an absolutely undeniable case that stablecoin infrastructure has officially crossed the line from coming soon to already here. Which leaves us with one final, pretty profound question to chew on. If the second largest payment network in the world, a massive consumer fintech app, and the largest U.S. crypto exchange have all hardwired their infrastructure for stablecoins in a single 24-hour window, what happens when the rest of traditional finance wakes up to this reality? The permanent shift has happened. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.